What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Latin Explaining. And I know. This is very late for me, but today, I don't know, I was feeling very productive throughout the whole day. So I took the day to overwork myself a little bit, and I feel really, really good. I don't know, somehow this week has been pumped up. I don't know if you guys have felt that like the vibes have been all weird, but somehow it's like a very uh a very productive week. I wanna thank Jose and Ramon for getting the chat started. And like Jose said, as you come in, please make sure to hit the like button as you enter. Now, today's show is gonna be a little bit more chill, more well, I don't know if it's gonna be freaking chill. I'm gonna try my best to make it chill because you guys know that I don't have a filter. And you guys also know that, changuito, changuito, quejita, quejita. So I'm gonna say it bajito, que se ofenden. Uh, gonna, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna try to whisper what I'm gonna talk about so that nobody gets offended. But I want to, like I said, I want to welcome everybody. If you're feeling Christmassy, if you're one of those Santas, elves, I'm this year. I don't know. This year it feels kind of weird, but I'm not. So, I mean, I love Christmas and whatnot, but this year somehow I don't feel Christmassy. Yeah, Jose, all Mike's lives matter. So, oh my God. Today, I know I have a very topic that's very cryptic due to the actual thumbnail. Not a lot of people are a little puzzling a little bit what I'm talking about, but you guys know that I talk to both men and women the same way. And today we're gonna talk about what's going on with this ladies and what's going on right now. And I'm gonna start by saying, this morning I woke up very early, and scrolling through my Instagram, I encountered something that made me think a little low. I'm not gonna lie, and it's simply like, as a woman, you guys know that I have spoken many, many times that, it was through uh therapy, a lot of, self-reflection, and a lot of listening to more to what men had to say and their feedback from me, like the men in my life. Now, obviously not random men from there, but like men in my life that I care about. And not only that, just overall acknowledging that something wasn't right, that I used to be very toxic, very masculine, very this type of career woman that was, I don't know what's on that woman liberation trend. And but my life on other aspects that I value the most was lacking, and that put me in a position to wanted to make a change. And then I stumble across, I mean, I've been through therapy, I would say, in different therapists in my life for different reasons since I was 18 years old, but none of them seemed to nail what was the issue, or at least they didn't have the tools to help me. And you guys know that I've even had him on my platform here, the actual therapist that told me the truth with no filter, but it was the truth that I needed to hear to actually make shit that changed my life for the best and solve all those problems that I had. Was Mr. Tim Delgado. And I was scrolling through his page today, and I encountered something that he posted. And like I said, my heart keeps sinking for us ladies. And I'm gonna come back to what I'm talking about and how it correlates to the topic, The Last Samurai. But before we move into what happened, if you want to know what happened, just stick to the stream, because it's gonna be really good. And trust me, you don't want to miss this one. It's gonna be really good. One thing that I reported on my Instagram in this week, I don't know, I know many of you guys do not even watch Sex and the City. You guys hate that show. I know. I know. Well, because I was one of those ladies. Of course, I did not hate the propaganda of like buying Manolo Blahniks and getting into debt for like brands or nothing like that. But I like the drama of the show. Sometimes you could laugh and whatnot. And I also criticize, because not everything that happened on the show was good. But anyway, the notorious Mr. Big is literally making a comeback from what happened with, and just like that, the revamp of Sex and the City, but not the comeback that many of us wanted him to make, which was not being dead on the show. The comeback that he's doing is that two women so far have accused Chris Noth, the actor that impersonates the notorious Mr. Big on Sex and the City, of sexual assault. Now, they say that triggered by the recent Sex and the City reboot, the woman alleged two incidents of misconduct they say took place more than a decade apart. And I'm going to, this was reported in December 16. So literally, what, a day or 2 days ago, by the Hollywood Reporter. And I took the time to actually look up the actual article. I read the whole thing. It was a little bit cringeworthy to read, but I'm going to reread it now so that if you have not had the opportunity to read it, if you have not had the opportunity to read it, you can actually, I'm going to read it for you. So it says, Chris, you see, it's the Hollywood Report. It says, Chris Noth accused of sexual assault by two women, in the same subtitle it's aired. And it says, note, this story includes graphic descriptions of alleged sexual assaults. And it says, it was the revival of the television series that had made him such an iconic character that was triggering for the two women. Ooh, he was too triggering. So, and I'm going to start breaking it down. Don't you guys find that it's kind of weird that it isn't until he does his show, that these ladies that had plenty of years to actually come forward with their abuse allegations. It was to trigger him for them to see him again now that he's. But let's just keep reading. It says Zoe, now 40 years old, and Lily, now 31 years old, both are fake names, both allege they were sexually assaulted by the actor Chris Noth. The two women who approached the Hollywood Reporter separately, months apart, and who do not know each other, said promotions and press reports of HBO's Max Sex and the City sequel series and Just Like That, in which Noth reprises his role as Mr. Big, stirred painful memories of incidents that they say occurred in Los Angeles in 2004 and in New York in 2015, respectively. To protect their privacy, the Hollywood Reporter is allowing both women to use pseudonyms. Now, if we go back, we're going to break down this incident, and I want to hear from you guys, like your actual opinions on this. It says, Lily, now a journalist, reached out to the Hollywood Reporter in August, and she says, I'm not sure how you go about this sort of story and how you find the other victims. She wrote in an email. The Hollywood Reporter heard from Zoe in October. She still works in the entertainment industry and is fearful of repercussions if her identity were known. But seeing that he was reprising his role in Sex and the City set off something in me. She says, for so many years, I buried it. She decided it was time to try to go public with who he is. Now, I'm going to start by saying I wasn't there. Okay, I wasn't there. I don't know. All I know about Chris Noth is his role in Law and Order that was very minimal, and then Sex and the City. And we all know him for this ultimate gentleman that's, this alpha, high value man mixed with fuckboy energy and whatnot. But it was, to all of us, he was just the ultimate sexiest man. So, and we were all, teenagers and whatnot at that time. So, we don't know him personally, and I don't intend to know him. But to me, the first thing that rubs me the wrong way is exactly what Ramon is saying. The timing is suspect, like a Me Too plan. And why am I saying this? It's very simple. If we break down what she said, it says she still works in the entertainment industry and is fearful of repercussions if her identity is known. And I'm like, okay, if you're coming forward to talk about Chris Noth and make allegations, what is your ultimate goal? Because the last time I checked, if you're going to go public and talk about this stuff, your ultimate goal then is you made up your mind to press charges. That's what victims do, especially when they come forward. If they stay quiet, because many do stay quiet. But if you're coming forward, your name's going to be out there. So even if we don't know it as the public, because they can have some form of gog law or whatever, Chris Noth and his people is going to know the name. So what repercussions? But then another thing triggered me a little bit about what she said. But it says, but seeing that he was reprising his role in Sex and the City set off something in me. So let's say, for example, that Chris Noth would have done what Kim Cattrall did and not appear on Sex and the City again. Then my question is, would these ladies would have come forward? So you see, those things, in my opinion, are like, if you put them together, she doesn't want to be known, but wants to make these accusations behind an avatar. But then she's putting it as, I only make these accusations because he worked again. So your intention is not to come forward, press charges, and let justice take care of him. But it's just for him to stop working, because if not, I'm going to extortion you out of a job. Hey, Rakim, what's up? I hope you enjoyed this topic. It's going to be very, very good. So I don't know if you guys get the same vibe, but the whole thing that she's like, she still works in the entertainment business, so she doesn't want her identity known. It's going to get freaking known. But then seeing him, that he was reprising his role in Sex and the City, set up something in me. So what you want this man to not work. This is the problem that we're seeing with men of the likes of Johnny Depp, of the likes of Dave Chappelle, and fucking cancel culture. You know? Because you're not going after a man for what he did to you. You're going after a man for their jobs. And it stays there. And the problem that we have is that it's so hard. And I'm saying this as a woman myself. It's so hard for me to believe this woman because we've seen what they have done to Bill Cosby. And don't make no mistake. When all those ladies came forward with Bill Cosby, I was here debating Melanated Night day in, day out. Because I used to be those women that was like, believe all women. And it wasn't until years later that now when we started looking at the evidence and the proof and all this shit, we realized it was two people. Hey, the unknown, what's up? It's nice to see you here. It's nice to see that new people are coming here to this channel. It's refreshing. So basically, what we're seeing today is a culture of people that are basically extortioning this man in order for them to not have a job, to play with their livelihood. And that is the plan that many of these ladies are using to quote unquote win in entertainment. And ladies, as a woman, I am not proud. So, but let's continue. So she says, contacted for comment, Noth sent to the Hollywood Reporter a statement. And I want you guys to analyze, we're going to dissect also his statement here. And he said, in Big's voice, which I don't have because I get it. A lot of people say I talk like a squirrel, even family members of mine that supposedly love me. But anyway, he says, the accusations against me made by individuals I met years, even decades ago, are categorically false. These stories could have been from 30 years ago or 30 days ago. No always means no. This is a line I did not cross. The encounters were consensual. It's difficult not to question the timing of these stories coming out. I don't know for certain why they're surfacing now, but I do know this. I did not assault these women. Now, I don't know if you guys see right through basically what Chris Noth is saying. And I had the opportunity to watch what was the name? I May Destroy You on HBO, which is basically a show that it's explaining consent. And I don't know if I really try my best to finish the show. I really did. Just know, whatever you are, that I try with all my strength to actually watch the damn show. And I couldn't, because I understand that we live in times when we do have predatory males out there. We do. But it's a very small freaking group. And what these messages are sending now is that we want to rebrand the concept or the definition of what consent is. You know, we want to take away, and I hate women for doing this. Not that I hate women. I'm going to correct myself because I know the changuitos are going to get offended. The changuitas in this case. I'm not saying I hate women. I'm saying I hate them for this. For taking away the fact that a man can flirt with you and there are innuendos that are very clear that you want to have sex with that man. That man wants to have sex with you. And you both go into a consensual encounter, have sex, enjoy it, and keep it moving. Either move into a relationship, or if the sex was bad, then just move on. you know, they're taking away from what will be my future daughters. You know, this culture that it's something that I got to enjoy, but they won't, because men at some point are gonna start saying, I'd rather just stick to myself, go home, and I'm sorry for what I'm gonna say because it's gonna sound graphic, but I'd rather go home, jerk off, than just have to deal with a lady that's gonna pop up when I'm doing good in my life, or I move up the ladder and she's gonna say that I sexually assaulted her. I don't know if you guys agree. If you agree with me, put a number 1 in the chat. If you disagree with me, put a number 2. But basically, that is what we're seeing right now. And by the way you see Chris Noth describing, this was consensual. I know that no means no. That's basically what he's trying to hint at when he says, I did not assault these ladies. And I'm gonna keep it real. Chris Noth is a well, now he's old as hell, of course, but he's a very attractive male. It's not like he didn't had literally storms of women coming at him, because I get it. There's a lot of dudes here that weren't Sex and the City fans, but for the ladies, like I said, I was a teenager and all of us look up to Mr. Big. He was very attractive. He was the ultimate male. It's like the same notion on what Ricky Martin lived under. You know, he was like the perfectly chiseled man. Even now, when people are like, oh, but he's gay, nobody cares. It's still the perfect, ultimate chiseled, perfect man. That was the same image which Chris Noth lived under. A lot of women wanted him, and he had seas of women to pick from. Okay, we're not talking about, Cuco Pasurin. We're not talking about fucking El Gangster. We're not talking about Tabin Pumarejo. We're talking about a man that is still considered by many ladies that are more mature a very handsome, elegant man. And a lot of ladies wanted that. So does he really have the need to do this? That's how I knew the difference between Harvey Weinstein, because there's no way in hell, and I know a lot of people are gonna make their comments, but I'm gonna say something. Harvey Weinstein could have a diamond on top of his peewee. It doesn't take away the fact that he looks like a blob of oatmeal. Nobody wanted Harvey. Harvey needed to do that in order to get laid. That's how we knew he actually fit that profile. Socially awkward, ugly as hell. Ramon is like, Ricky swings both ways. Yeah, I know. He had a relationship with Alejandra Guzman and all that stuff. I know that scandal. So here Zoe describes, I'm gonna try to fly through this a little bit so I don't keep you guys here for long, but it says, after graduating from college in 2004, Zoe, then 22, moved to Los Angeles to work in an entry-level job for a high-profile firm where Noth and other celebrities regularly had business. He will walk by my desk and flirt with me. Who the fuck doesn't want Chris Noth? If you're 22 years old, why wouldn't you want Chris Noth flirting with you at your entry freaking job on a cubicle in LA? But anyway, let's continue. He somehow got my number from the director and was leaving messages on my work phone. My boss was like, Mr. Big is leaving messages on your voicemail, she says. Now, what do you guys see? Because I know a lot of these femotaps, a lot of Silvias that always say that I have Jose. Yeah, fucking. So, a lot of femoteps love to always accuse me of, having a lot of misogyny in their opinion. I'm a misogynist. I'm a whorephobic. I'm a slut shamer. But anyway, if you notice, her boss is backing up exactly what I am saying. Chris Noth is and was and will be, well, I don't know after this, I hope, but we know how the public functions, but he was the ultimate male. So even her boss is confirming what I'm explaining to you guys. My boss was like, Mr. Big's leaving messages on your voicemail. And she goes, that now former boss of Zoe tells the Hollywood Reporter that she witnessed Noth talking to Zoe at her desk. And this is the problem that I have with this, ladies. If you are at an entry-level job and a top-tier celebrity like Chris Noth is talking to you, do you think he needs something from you, or you think that he is flirting with you? He obviously doesn't need anything from a lady that's 22 at an entry-level job where he does business at, because you technically work for him and celebrities like him. So you know he's flirting with you if he's talking to you. Wouldn't that be the moment to say no? And she goes even further into this. She says, Zoe also let her listen to some kind of flirty voicemails from him. And my question is, how did he obtain her phone number without her consent to do so? And if he obtained her number, then why? That was another way, another opportunity to say no. I'm just saying, but then that's just good old good flirting. That's the way it happens. I think a lot of ladies just don't know how to flirt today. They're so mechanic. And it says the ex-boss says that she thought it odd. It's odd for a man to flirt today with a woman. It's odd that Noth, who was 49 at the time, has gotten Zoe's number from where? And left those messages, but says she didn't find it alarming. Of course, she's not going to find it alarming. Of course. It's Chris not messaging you. This was peak Sex and the City, she says. He was, look at what she says. It validates exactly what I was saying. He was like a god to us. Like a god. Last time I checked, the only thing that he was famous for is because the show is not called Intellectually and the City. It's called Sex and the City. So the reason why he was a god of what? Because he ain't the city. A god of what? Sexual attraction. And I'm not going to continue. I swear every time I read this article, this article is just as disgusting as the news. And I'm going to say, this whole thing with Chris Noth is just Johnny Depp. It screams to me. I could be wrong tomorrow, and there could be proof that he actually did it. But till now, last time I checked in America, you're innocent until proven guilty. But this whole thing with Chris Noth screams to me Johnny Depp 2.0. And the problem that we have is that already we have ladies accusing Chris Noth and telling him, fuck you, Chris Noth. Fuck Mr. Big. White males. I found a lady. I'm going to share it with you guys. If you guys give me 1 second, I will share something that oh my God. And by the way, I got into Twitter jail thanks to this. I'm going to try my best not to say nothing, but I got into Twitter jail again because I voiced my opinion. And this is something that I've said many times. Masculinity in today's society is under attack. It's so crazy. Men cannot say anything. Men have to act robotic and scared. Women want men scared today. At least that's the way I see it. But look, I had this lady on Twitter, and she says, wealthy white men exploit their power and privilege. That is just a fact. And nearly all will deny sexual assault allegations against them. That is another fact. It could not possibly be that they're being falsely accused. It's that they are white men come with an internal chip in her rhetoric. I'm not saying this is true, but in her logic, white men that are successful at what they do come with an internal chip somehow that they're predatory, and they'll deny it after. That's basically what she's saying. And she's saying that these are facts. I'm going to read it again. She said, wealthy white men exploit their power and privilege. That's just a fact. And nearly all will deny sexual assault allegations against them. That is another fact. She says, there is zero incentive to tell the truth. Chris Noth denies sexual assault allegations. And I'm like, I'm going deep on this. This is my problem with ladies like this Becky. My problem is that I was today years old when I discovered or encountered the notion that being a white male makes you an automatic, you guys know the name. I was today years old. And it's insane to me that she's literally projecting exactly what we're seeing from the woman onto the men. Because if we saw the case of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, if you have heard from it, put it in the chat. There was zero incentive for her to tell the fucking truth. In the meantime, the world threw cans of tomato soup at freaking Johnny Depp along with Amber Heard. Do you guys remember when all those audios started coming out when she was throwing cans at him? The world threw those cans at Johnny Depp and made it worse right after Amber Heard did. Who gave him his fucking career back now? Do we see these Beckys giving him his career back? Who do you see out there clearing Johnny Depp's name? That he has had to do that. And he's still trying to do it, and he's still losing in the public eye. And all of us know this stuff. Becky's won't come out and say, yo, I said fuck Johnny Depp, but I am sorry, I was wrong. I've yet to see that shit. And we're doing it again. And as like I said, I'm not here defending Chris Noth because I don't know the person. He could be guilty, he could not be guilty, but I have not seen proof. I have not seen proof. But now we're demonizing now white males. We have demonized black males. We have demonized Latino males. It's something that is disgusting at this point. That makes absolute no freaking sense. And then we wonder why so many of us are single AF. Oh my God, why men don't approach me? Why? There's no men. Men have decided to stick by themselves. And it's not just a thing about men, which is what brought me to my stream today. It's not just about men. As I was saying at the beginning of this stream, I woke up and just when I thought my hopes for the world to start waking up to a new reality keep sinking by the minute. You guys know that, yeah, Jose. Yeah, Jose. A lot of men are dating outside of the US. But you know what's crazy, Jose? This problem is bigger than just the US. This problem is spreading all the way throughout. I know you guys have heard about April Mason and how I get it. April Mason has a lot of freaking backward views and whatnot. Sometimes she speaks from both sides of her neck. Sometimes she says contradictory things and she has that conditional femininity. I get it. However, she was in the business of matchmaking until 2013. And she says, recently she said that she's closing down her academy. She said, why am I closing my dating academy and getting out of the business of helping women in this way? The same reason why I closed my matchmaking service in 2013. And if you don't know what she's talking about, I will read it for you. She said, give me 1 second. 1 second. But she's not the only one. You guys know there's another matchmaker that is doing the same. Well, she did the same thing. I don't remember her name. She's something Pope. She did the same thing. She said, you know what? I'm out. I don't want to deal with these ladies. You know? And something that, you know, it correlates to what I'm talking about. But let's just go. It correlates to what I'm saying. But let's just go to what April Mason posted on October 18th. I'm going to remove this so you guys can see it. Give me 1 second. 1 second. She said, after 10 plus years of helping women in this area, it's time to move on. I have had dozens of success stories from women who are now married, engaged, or dating high caliber of men. My track record speaks for itself. However, the majority, she didn't say the minority or a select group, she said the majority that come to me have unrealistic expectations, the selfishness, fake everything. That means booty, boobs, hips, lashes, hair, nails, lips, everything. think they should be chosen because they have a vagina and good looks. The entitlement. They're just mean. This is a woman saying this shit. Not knowing the difference between being a woman and a wise woman. And will fight you to be strong. Not knowing how to be versus do. Thinking being a feminine woman is weak or a pick-me. And you guys know that I've had my very big share of being called a pick-me, a mommy, a black male identifier, a male identifier, a misogynist, a whorephobic, a slut shamer. I've been called everything. And she said, whatever that is. Placing the blame and not taking responsibility or accountability for the choices they made in men. And she continues to say, being disagreeable, defensive, argumentative about everything. That means that those women are unable to provide freaking peace. They won't shut up. Yes, Robert, I have missed you. You have not been here in a while. Welcome. And I agree with you 100%. You said there are women who believe that all they need is a BBL and their filters. Absolutely. Trust me. I live in California. Everything here is fake. Everything here is fake. And it says, looking for perfection. If you mention anything about doing something kind for the men they chose, is the what is he going to do for me? And that is something that I have seen many times, because I like to get into spaces with divestors. I visit those channels. I visit channels of swirlers. I visit channels of feminists. I visit all those spaces and I ask these ladies questions. And this is exactly what you hear when you ask them to do something for a man. I have even went to see ladies that when you tell them you do your men's pedicure, which is something nice for your men. I do my men's pedicure. They literally proceed to tell you, is he doing your pedicure? It's something that's so cringe-worthy. I don't give a shit. I don't need my man to do my fucking pedicure. That's what this salon is there. I want to do something nice for him so that he can come home, relax, and feel good and comfortable. When did that become something bad? What the fuck is going on with these fucking pit bulls? And like I said, a lot of these ladies often come to when men say this shit to us, and I'm going to include myself in the collective because I am a woman and I've lived through this myself. When men tell us this shit, we like to gaslight them and to say that they just hate us just for the sake of winning the damn argument. And that is the freaking problem that's eating up society. But let's continue to read what Miss Mason was saying. She said, and the list goes on. Now, this doesn't excuse men's behavior, which is something we've said. There's a select group of men that, of course, are going to be predatory, just like there is a demographic of women that are trash. That's just the world. That's human nature. And it says, a lot of men think because they are high earning, it makes them high value men. Not. She said, those who are loyal followers know I get on them hard as well. This post just isn't about them. And that is another problem. The fact that she had to include that disclaimer here is what bothers me. The fact that we cannot speak about one fucking gender without bringing the other is the damn problem. If we're talking about damn women, we're talking about us. We have to listen. It's disingenuous and immature for us as women to say, what about the men? Who gives a fuck about the men? We're talking about us. We are this fucking topic. Whenever the men are the topic, then they are the topic. Worry about you, sis. And she had to include that damn disclaimer in there because that is the first fucking thing we hear from all these women today. But what about the men? It's always like that. It never freaking fails. And then she closes saying, I have just made my contribution and impact in this area for decades to come. I have over 50 courses that women who may need help in this area can rent or buy. And she shares her link and she says, link in bio. New courses will be added this week. And she ends up by saying, a wise woman knows how to exit on a high note. And that was it for April Mason, a woman that has been in business making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars from selling women different courses, matchmaking, a matchmaking business. She does not want our fucking money. Imagine that you have your livelihood and you don't want to do that job anymore, even though it pays well. That's how annoying we have fucking become as women today. That a woman, even ourselves, don't want to continue to deal with us. And she's not the only one. If you go through her announcement of how she's withdrawing from dealing with us today, there's a lot of matchmakers in there quitting left and right, left and right, left and right. They're throwing in the towel. They don't want to deal with y'all. They're saying, you know what? Keep your damn money. I ain't doing this shit. She don't want your money. She don't want your money anymore. She don't want you to pay her to do nothing for you. Nothing whatsoever. And that brings me to what I'm talking today. When I saw April withdraw from helping us as women, well, I mean, I'm already matched, but you know what I'm saying. I'm still a woman, right? When I saw April and I started seeing this whole wave of matchmakers, femininity coaches, YouTubers give up and throw the towel and say, I'm not going to talk to women anymore. I'm not going to talk to women anymore. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm tired of this. And they were making serious money. My heart sunk a little bit when I started seeing that shit. And then this morning, like I said, I started by sharing my experience walking from being a very masculine, toxic woman into the woman that I am today. Acknowledging that, you know, there's a fucking problem. We are out of control. And the person, just to see the person that, you know, I was blessed to encounter and help me with that aspect of my life before I ruined my life and my relationship. It's also quitting. I don't know the reasons. I haven't, I reached out, but I haven't figured out the reason. I don't feel at liberty of saying, but he's also quitting. He posted this morning something that was a little disheartening. If you're a woman out there and you think that there is something wrong with us today as a collective, this is gonna this what I'm gonna say after I read this is going to continue to sink your heart even deeper and deeper. And he posted, modern masculine women are eating up extreme feminism, conventional wisdom, and the boss bitch mentality from the music industry, yet they have a high level of control anxiety and other mental disorders. Women are living with a guard up, trying to guide themselves, but it is not in their DNA and primal mind to do so. And that is absolutely correct. We're not made for that shit. We crack under that type of pressure. That pressure is exclusive for men. And they literally, when they take on that, they do it beautifully. It says their nature needs to feel secure with that masculine figure. And I've said it many times. Life is better when a man is the leader. Life is better when the man is the authority of the household. But when you say that today to one of these pit bulls, they want to literally take a chunk of you. And he literally said, message from my clients. This will probably be a controversial post, but I don't care. I have made the decision that this will be my last year doing this work. And he says, maybe less. But if you ask me what I saw the most all these years, it is this. This is what my clients taught me. Every day, I see a new case of polarities being switched. Can't fight nature. Nature always wins. Happy holidays to you all. And like I said, I did not know what to continue to think out of this. But I said, look, just when we were thinking that this femininity coaches, the YouTubers, and the matchmakers and all these coaches were quitting on us as women, the only people out there left were our therapists that were taking care of all the toxic waste that we carry as women today. And we're trying to force men to eat that shit. The only people that were willing to absorb that toxicity so that we can change and take control of our lives in what we're supposed to take control of and learn how to get under the authority of a husband. Just when that was the only thing that was left, guess what? They're checking out too, bitches. We're on our own. And you know why we're on our own? Because we don't want to make the changes. People are checking out. You can't save everyone. And this is what is happening today. We're dealing with a pandemic that's worse than the C-19. And I don't care about the divest taps and their insults. I don't care about the swirl taps, the femo taps, the Sylvias of the life and their insults. The way the future looks for women is not pretty. You're not a boss. You're not a bad bitch. You're not a queen. You're not a diva. It's not looking pretty. And it brings me to the last aspect of this video. Whether you like it or not, whether you think he's gay, whether you think he's fruity, whether you think he's bougie, you don't like his fucking tone, the only person that we have left that is still willing to absorb our freaking toxicity. And yes, bitches, we know we're fucking toxic. It's Kevin Samuels. The rest are just stems from it. Great content, but you guys know what I'm talking about. This is the only person that's willing to take our calls and tell us what to do and where we are wrong. And tell us what we need to hear, not what we want to hear, what we need to hear with no filter. And that's what I call the last samurai. I don't know if you guys remember that movie with Tom Cruise when basically was when ancient Japan was being erased and America was indoctrinating the new armies. And at that point, the art of a samurai and their discipline and their culture was being lost and it was becoming obsolete. And even though the leader of the samurais was a person that was willing to die for the emperor, it wasn't until he died and the last samurai left was an American man that trained with them that he acknowledged the damage that he did. And we're getting to that point, ladies. We're getting to that point. Our attitudes, how disgusting we are today to men, the contempt that we have for them. And I'm not saying here, like I said, that we're not talking about the men. So you can come here and say, yo, but I had this experience. Fuck your experience. Pick better. The rest of the men don't have to pay for your fucking experience. Is it gonna take for us to X every man and destroy everything to understand how alone we really are in this? Because not because men have left us, it's because nobody can stand us. What is it going to take, ladies? Your matchmakers are out. Your femininity coaches are done with you. Now your therapists are starting to wake up to the fact that they don't have to take you. They don't need you. They're gone for whatever reason. They're going away. We're going to be left with the bad bitches, with the Brittany Renards, with the WAP. That's what we're going to be left with. That's what's going to happen. But maybe, I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I'm just full of shit, as usual. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. In all honesty, I don't know what it's going to take, ladies. I don't know what it's going to take. Men are not asking for a lot. Men are asking for one fucking thing. And that is cooperation. I don't care about your truth, your experience. I have to tell my truth. Nobody gives a shit about your truth. Because if we add your truth and the other bitch's truth and my truth and the truth of this one and the truth of that one, how does your truth moves into the world and is a blanket statement that spreads and applies to every other woman? Your truth, my truth is my truth. Yeah, your truth has become your standard so that you don't have to acknowledge and hold yourself accountable for the shit you do. And that's what you call it, my truth. my experience, my truth. I'm tired of this lady's truth. Fuck your truth. Act fucking right. Y'all don't freaking understand. We're malfunctioning. Women today, we're all malfunctioning. This is not what our bodies, our minds were created for. And what that does is that it destroys us. But I guess it's going to come to that until we acknowledge that shit. And we only have one person left. One fucking person left. One man left is willing to tell you what the fuck is going on. Yes, he has other people talking around him, but you guys are also canceling them. And nitpicking. He's saying the truth. Oh, he's gay. His mama black. Who hurt him? And make no mistake, this is not an issue about just black women. Like I said, I'm Puerto Rican. I was still masculine. This applies to everybody. It's getting out of control, ladies. Bring it back. Bring it freaking back. Bring women back. Bring femininity back. Bring softness and emotions back. Jesus Christ. Now, yeah, Jose. Insanity is to continue to do the same thing a million times and expect a different damn result. And it's like I said, when the doctors are supposed to fix you don't want to treat you, you know you have a problem in your hands. You know that all hope is gone. We saw it with C-19 when doctors couldn't do anything for us and people were just dying because they didn't know what to apply to you. That's exactly what's happening. We have an epidemic of pitbull boss bitch mentality right now. Women are taking spoonfuls of this woman liberation, twerk, shake my ass for views, thirst trap people, and all this shit. And I don't have a problem. I've said it many times. There is a need for whores in society. There is a need for them. We just don't need so many. There is a need for them. We just don't need so many. Well, we have so many whores. But then when I say it, like I said, I'm already on Twitter jail again. And I think this is the time when they're going to take my Twitter because this is the last opportunity they gave me for saying the truth. So, gentlemen, I know that a lot of women avoid my channel because I've always spoken like this about women. And they later on give me the hate views and message me and DM me that I'm misogynist and all this shit and I'm a whorephobic and a slut shamer and blah, blah, blah. So if you want to come up here, share your thoughts. If you think I'm full of shit, if you think I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, or if you just want to agree and express further opinions, I'm going to share the link. I'm going to keep it short. So everybody that comes up, I'm going to give them 5 minutes. But I'm going to direct to the men now. Yeah, Robert, definitely. Definitely. He says, Americanized Latina want to be bosses. They want to eat this feminism up. And not only that, we have that problem in Puerto Rico too. We have that problem in the DR too. We have that problem in Mexico right now. And you know what? Something that irritates me about Latin American feminism that we're seeing right now is that the court system panders to this shit. If you don't believe me, look up Julian Hill versus Marjorie de Sousa. If you think I'm full of shit, that shit happened in Mexico. It's still fucking happening. Look at how that woman is keeping that man from seeing his own son simply because she's trying to clap back at him. And the courts are literally letting her do that. We're literally out of control. But I'm going to introduce Jose. What's up, Jose?
Good morning, daughter. How you doing today?
Morning, bendición.
Que Dios te
Everything is
bendiga.
good. Everything is good. Just, you know, you know how I get, Jose. You know, when we talk about Sylvia and the femal tabs, you know how this gets.
I
I see that
know.
Robert is here.
Hey,
Yeah.
what's going on, everybody?
What's up,
Hello, how are you
Robert?
doing
Long
today?
time no see.
Yes, how's it going, everybody?
Good,
Okay,
good.
thank you.
So, Jose and then Robert. Jose, what are your thoughts on this? The Last Samurai, the last person up here talking to us women about what we're doing wrong.
Okay. Now I actually have watched this individual many times. Okay. He's kind of like a male version of you, in the sense that he speaks truth without a filter, but he speaks the truth. And the fact of the matter is, but let me state this for the record: not all women are like that, okay? But you get these women who have made poor decisions in their lives as far as their partners are concerned. Then they expect a high value man to fix their messes, and they have to be 6 feet tall. They have to have a six pack. They have to have six-figure salaries. Okay. And heaven forbid if they ask anything like be feminine or be submissive or just be cooperative. And yet these women wondering why they cannot find anybody. These women would die alone because if they would try to get a dog, the dog will bite them.
Oh yeah, no, they are. Look, they are at this point getting all these damn dogs and forcing those dogs to live with them. And haven't you seen that a lot of these ladies lose their dogs? I'm starting to believe that these dogs are running away because they can't stand them.
I think we're going to see a huge uptick in animal abuse.
Yep. No, we're seeing it. Hey Terrell, hey Moonchaser, what's up? Yeah, we're seeing it already. We're seeing it already. Literally, I'm gonna pull it up because I saw this lady that was accused of abusing her dog. And this was right before the pandemic. Right before the pandemic, she has an adorable Doberman, a dog that many people desire. Look, it's happening already. Because this is who they are. And then because they can't pin it on a man. Look, YouTuber Brooke Holtz abuses her dog on camera. LAPD launches an investigation. This was on August 7, 2019. I don't want to think how that dog was. And I want to warn people because this video, oh my God, I wanted to punch her, bitch, slap her. I don't know, to a remote island or something. But this video is disturbing. She even spat on her dog and everything. Like, it's just gross. If it ever loads, we'll play it. But I'm gonna move on to Robert. Robert, what's your take on The Last Samurai, the last dude that's doing this mainstream and talking to us about what us as women today, as modern women, we're doing wrong?
I think that what's happening is people are picking and choosing different sound bites to either justify him or to demonize him. Like, they're not listening to him in its entirety, because Kevin Samuels has held both men and women accountable. And the problem is nobody cared when he talked to the men. We only care when you start talking to women. But I mean, one of the things he always says is that men, we set the tone. So if we as men aren't doing what we're supposed to be doing, and if we're not out here making ourselves better, the best versions of ourselves, then yeah, the women are going to run amok and they're going to be all over the place. And that's why you have in some of these communities, the women all over the place. Because if you go to Asian communities, Indian communities, Middle Eastern communities, those women aren't necessarily by and large out of control. They're still getting married and doing what they're supposed to do because the men in those communities set the tone. Now, on the flip side of that coin, the women, if women have got to understand, or the women that Kevin talks to, there are consequences for your actions. I mean, I'm sorry, but you can't just go through life, do the kind of things you do and think, oh, well, I won't feel any consequences. At some point, you're going to have a consequence. So if you choose the wrong partner and you have a bunch of kids with them, that's a consequence.
Yeah.
That's just life. That's just what it is.
But look at this. The way I see it, a lot of times men have been blamed for this behavior. And I, as a woman, I disagree to a degree. I agree with the fact that, yeah, men have to build up themselves to be the better version. And we have a lot of feminine men that are just trashing their lives away when they have so much potential. And that's something that I discuss heavily on this channel. But my thing is, we can, as women, have this conditional femininity that is conditioned to the men being able to be men. We're supposed to be feminine, period. We're supposed to acknowledge authority, period.
Yes.
We're supposed to cooperate with men, period. We're supposed to treat men with respect, period. We're supposed to do these things. That's the way we fucking function. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But oftentimes when we say these things, even in women's spaces, like I said, I think I discussed with Rakim like a month ago when I got into one of the divestor spaces. When we discuss this thing, even among women, they usually come back at people like myself. Oh, but what about the men?
And that's
as if that has anything to do with this.
Exactly. But I mean, there's two sides to the coin. And I tell the women all the time, okay, yes, the men, but what about you? Because you're choosing the men. Yeah. You're choosing those bums. You're choosing, you're choosing these homeless guys on the streets. You're choosing that man. I said, the reason why a lot of you are single mothers is because you chose to have a child with a man who either A, only wanted you for sex, or B, he gave you the tingles downstairs. I mean, what did you expect to have happen?
Yeah. And I'll even raise it even up a little bit. If you are a pibble woman, not a single man that's masculine will touch you.
Exactly.
That's just what it is. And then they go, oh, there's no men left. All the men that approach me are bums. Because you're a female bum.
Yeah. I mean, I'll leave y'all with this one story because I know there's other people that want to talk. With my woman, I had to kind of let her learn the hard way because she kept on, she wanted to be all masked. I want to do this. I want to, she wanted to be the boss. I'm the kind of person, I'm not going to argue with you. Okay. That's what you want. I sat back. I said, okay, you start handling stuff. You want to be the man in this relationship? Go for it. And I sat back and I let her, do all that. She wanted to, be the decision maker, pay all the bills, work as much as I did. So I just sat back. I let her do it. And what she found was, it wasn't so easy because, when she started getting sick, she thought, I got to call off. I'm like, oh, but see, when I get sick, I don't call off. I keep going.
Yeah.
When she started discovering, oh, wow, the kids, now the kids are unruly, who's doing the laundry, who's at home cooking. And I'm not saying that's a woman's place, but you got to understand, like, there's a reason why I do all the stuff that I do. So that way the kids can be taken care of, can be managed. So like, if you're trying to do everything that I'm doing, now there's nobody here to take care of the kids. There's nobody here to manage the home. And so that's when she starts to realize, oh, wow, that's why he works so hard. That's why he's always making sure. That's why he always tells me that, I need to scale back because we have these kids and somebody needs to take care of the kids. So she had to learn those lessons the hard way in order to see, like, as a man, I can persevere whether I'm sick, injured, going through the motions. I can keep going and keep working. Whereas she, it's a little bit more difficult for her.
Yeah, because look, a lot of women, and I've said it even myself, we're not going back to the kitchen. And what I mean by that is not that we're not cooking. What I said is like we're not going back into this back like old school backwards mentality where women were not able to even have a bank account. That's what we're not going. It's not gonna happen. The cat is already out of the hat. My thing is, a lot of women today diminish the value in these things. You want to cook because cooking is not just serving a man, it's also taking care of the health of your man, which is your provider and your protector. Because what you put into his stomach, into his body, is the biggest expression of love that you can have for a man because you're protecting his health, and that also translates into the health of your children and yourself. So cooking is not just simply serving him. That's one component of it, but it's not the only thing. And we see a lot of women today that don't even want to do that. And I'm like, how do you expect to have a man that goes out, gets the world for you? Because basically that's what men are doing, regardless. They even do it without a woman by their side. And then he comes home to what? To fast food that's gonna kill him when he's 50? The fuck? You know what I'm saying? So we have to take a step back and analyze the purpose of these things and the reason why they used to work in the past and why they need to still work today. If you want to be taken care of in the ways that women are demanding today, then you have to also take care of your men. You have to, and not to be messed up. When I, like in my own personal journey, when I transitioned from masculine energy to feminine energy, I found that doing things for MK brought me purpose, you know. And I take pride on knowing that he goes out into the world and, you know, he has very well ironed clothes, you know, he's well fed, he looks his best, you know, he's relaxed because I was able to decompress his stress at home, you know. And when he comes home, I made the home so that he wants to come home, you know. So it's something that if women will just try these things, try something different, you will find out that it's life is better when we are in our natural roles. um I'm gonna move to Rakim, what's up, my brother from another mother?
My
What's
sister
up?
Denise, what's going on, Denise? My YouTube dad Jose, how you guys doing? What's up to Robert? That's on the panel. How's everybody doing tonight?
It's
Good.
okay. It is now
It's
81
all good.
hours until the first day of winter.
Yeah, winter is here. Winter is here. Um,
Absolutely.
my take, my take, on the topic at hand is I gotta slightly agree with the gentleman that acted in Sex in the City because I don't know. It's a thin line. I would say it's a thin line between flirting and harassment. And I know, like, when it comes to some girls at that age, 22 years old, I don't think they really take kindly into being, flirted with by men that's significantly older, such as in their 60s and different things like that. For some girls that young, that could be, a little creepish based off of the fact that that can be their father or in some cases even their grandfather. So I can see that a little bit, but we all know that it's a thin line between flirting and harassment. And based off from what we've seen with feminism as time has went on, it's a thin line between wanting equality and just wanting outright power to dominate people, and that's what we're dealing with right now. A lot of these women today are hypocritical walking contradictions where they say one thing but they really mean another. And I don't know, it's getting to the point that the toxicity from feminism have a lot of people fed up because we are transitioning into an era where things are no longer traditional, but they still want men to be traditional without giving up their freedoms as modern women. And that is what a lot of women are not understanding. I think it comes to the fact that biology is not catching up with their mentality, where they, still want men to do this and do that, provide, flirt. Why men are not talking to me? Men doesn't hold the door open for women anymore. Men are not, what's the word I'm looking for? What's that
Being
word?
being shivers.
Yeah, being chivalrous, anything like that. But at the same time, they do not want to follow under a man's leadership. They think that music has definitely corrupted a lot of women's mentality, and so has movies and various things like that. The question I have is, how do we get to this point? How did people get this type of influence to be able to do these things, to like pretty much tip the Richter scale, to have everything off balance? But um, you know, it's gotten out of control, and a point that a lot of people, you just want to avoid these women. Like when you hear women like the City Girls or different rap artists, and you see the whole boss bitch mentality. And I'm sorry, I don't know if I should have said that,
No,
but
no, go
when
ahead. No, say it, because we need. That's another thing, Rocky. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm really sorry. Um, as a woman, I want to see from you guys this non-apologetic behavior when you're saying the truth. You know, this soft and warm little towels that men have had to resort to use in order to communicate to us is what's messing us up, is what's fucking up everything in us. We need men to start speaking up with authority more.
right.
And I get it, we are so difficult to deal with today. Still do it until we get it.
Yeah, so like this whole mentality that has spread it today has just made it like to the point that you don't even want to be around people like that. It's like the most, people are unapologetically toxic to the point that toxicity is now a trend. You see girls on Instagram wearing this uh I love being toxic t-shirts and all, like when did being a narcissist and being toxic and being selfish, when was that ever cool? Because usually when we was coming up, those was the type of, anyone that presented those type of characteristics was a person you don't want to be around, man or woman. Usually they was the worst of the worst, and they was very snakish and untrustworthy. Now all of a sudden people embrace that because, like my boy said on Jose's previous stream, people have become rewarded for negative behavior. So that's what we're dealing with. And the worst it can get with a lot of these women is, we know that a lot of these women won't ever get the men that they want. They won't ever attract the men that they want. So now their objective is to corrupt as many women as possible, to live vicariously through them. As long as I got a young girl that's in her 20s or, early 30s, anything mimicking my type of behavior, I can live vicariously through that and I'm fine. And the envelope just keep getting pushed. Women keep thinking that they're gonna. I'm not talking about women, feminists, the feminist type of women and everything like that. The women with the boss bitch mentality. They think they're gonna keep pushing the envelope until they get men to conform, and that's exactly what's not happening. And even the men that do conform to this, which are usually young boys that are raised in these type of environments and households, those are the men that they do not end up wanting, because those are the men that become pushovers down the line. So they really are they really are thirsting for that masculinity, but at the same time, they want it in a way that they feel that they can control it. If
Yeah,
they can't control it, then you know.
yeah, because we can't forget that opposites attract. The same way that women want, they don't want no scrubs, they don't want beta males, they don't want this. If you're an alpha woman, then you need a beta male, because that's the only man that's going to be next to you. It's
Um,
something that even in my life, I can use my example. I before I acknowledge this in me, this toxic behavior in myself, um it was MK that told me, yo, I need one thing from you, and that is peace. If you cannot give me peace, I'm out the door. It's that simple. Take it or leave it. He was not going to be with another person that was trying to take, the authority and the leadership from him. So it's something that, we need to understand. But I'll go to you, Jose. You were going to say something.
Yeah, what I'm going to say is not going to be well received by these militant feminists. And at this point, I don't care. But it's going to get to the point that the only women we're going to be able to save of those who are preteen and under, because unfortunately, and I'm saying this, it's going to sound a little harsh, but it seems to be developing with millennial women. Um, and the fact of the matter is going to get to the point that men are going to say, you know what? I could be miserable by myself. I don't need a female to be miserable with. That's when you think men are, some of them are dating outside their ethnic group, because unfortunately the women are becoming too toxic, and yet these same morons are complaining, no one wants me, no one wants to date me, no one wants to court me. Okay, a person with some gray cells that's still functioning, that hasn't turned to mush, is not going to date a female that's trying to be bossy, 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 trying to be toxic, and then expect the men to be traditional when they're not being traditional in their roles.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And can I say something, Denise?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, I agree with what Jose was saying, but another thing, the reason why I feel that what he was saying is catching on to the millennials and Generation Z is because no longer is TV our main source of entertainment. So no one barely watches TV anymore. Everyone watches social media, and that has become the new media. And it's become the new media with people that are untrained in media. So everything you're getting is raw and uncut, unedited, and it's coming from people's minds. As idiotic as some of these people are, as ignorant as some of these people are, or as toxic and selfish as some of these people are, they're able to spread their message and create a following quicker than any television show was able to in the past. And with that being said, like, it's getting to the point that women and men live in alternative realities, because as a man, I don't have the luxury to be able to not pay close attention to what's going on in the world. Me, like, you got women that, oh, I want to go to Dubai. I want this diamond bracelet. I want Fendi. I want Louis Vuitton. I want Burberry and different things like that.
Don't forget the I deserve, Rakim.
Yeah, no, I deserve that. I deserve that. Yeah, I deserve that. I deserve this luxury. Why women are thinking luxury, men are just thinking survival. Because at this particular point, as a man, we know that inflation is taking a big effect throughout the country. We're dealing with we're dealing with COVID-19 as far as the damage that has caused. Lack of jobs, crime is going up. You got to worry about putting food on the table. You got to watch your surroundings to worry about not getting robbed or shot or killed and different things like that. That's what men's world is looking like. And unfortunately, that's the privilege that women have, because we don't have that privilege to live in that type of world, because we're the ones that have to maintain and make sure everything is taken care of. My fantasy world is I can drive a Lamborghini Murcielago. I'm dripped up in Fendi myself with 24 karat gold chains on, and I got women knocking at my door every 24 hours, and I got time to work out and play video games all day. That's my fantasy, but I can't live in that type of world. Life doesn't afford me to live in that privileged type of world.
Yeah,
But a lot of
and
these women,
I want to be a unicorn, but I can't. You know, it doesn't happen like that. You know, and one thing that we're seeing, what I decided to do this stream, is the fact that, and I want to get you guys' opinion on it, that there's avenues to reform, because at this point what we have to undergo is reform. The reformers are exiting the rank and file of this whole movement of reforming us. You know, what is you guys' take on the fact that we have less and less resources to help women reform, and it's not because they want to quit on us, it's because they're fed up? What is you guys' take on that?
To these diverse taps, the militant feminists, and all their collected ilk. Congratulations! You are killing your own salvation with your toxicity. And then you go wonder why no one wants me. Why no one wants to court me? Why no one wants a relationship when you drive and then away with your toxicity? The fact of the matter is, the only way that this could be changed, if we start teaching these girls when they're in their preteen years, because unfortunately, uh, once they become in their 20s, their behaviors are set. Now, there are some women that can change their outlook. You are a perfect example, Denise, but unfortunately, they're very few and far between.
Yeah, because that's one thing that, you know, these ladies think it's that women like myself are wrong with. And they often say, like, oh, you know, like, you're just a pygmy and you're like a mommy and blah blah blah, like, you're a stupid bitch. Like, I've had ladies tell me in many occasions, and what are you gonna do if MK cheats on you? Well, we have a plan for that. But what if he doesn't? But what if he turns out to be actually a good man and you cheated him of the treatment that he deserves all those years, simply because you live in that fear of what can or will or possibly can happen, when in reality we should be worrying on how to avoid that. And that's one thing that I was not raised with. A lot of women today want to point out the fact that men are cheaters, but I'm like, at the end of the day, every time that I have talked to any friend or family member that has been cheated on by a man, and you talk to the man, they will tell you exactly what pushed them out of the house, exactly what pushed them out, and they try every avenue until they just succumb to that.
Denise, as far as what can happen, I can walk outside my building and walk on Metropolitan Avenue. I could be hit with a vehicle or I could be shot. I can get onto the subway and I could be pushed down the track and die. I can go to a place to get something to eat and I can, choke on a piece of food or what have you. Or I could be struck with lightning or what have you. There are risks in everything what you do. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to spend the rest of my life living in my apartment as a hermit.
Exactly, because we want to live in that what if type of lifestyle. What if? Who gives a shit of what if? Your job is to make sure that it doesn't happen. That's what you have to do. Damage control. Shit. I'm so tired of this. I'm
And
like, it's if you, because I want to hear it from you guys. If you're, let's say that all of you are married, boom, we tunnel snap that into reality, and you have your wife that makes the home a place where you want to come home, and you're thinking even of coming home when you're working hard, and you work even harder because you value your home, and you put it in such a highly place because it's a place where you find peace, relaxation, and affection. would that as a man push you towards any thought on the street? Would you still feel, attracted to that, or you would just come home and try to be with your wife?
Um, you have seen the lady that I am with, okay? She is a classy 10. The fact of the matter is, if I'm blessed with a lady that is supported, that irons my clothes because she wants to, and feeds me because she wants to, because she wants to make sure I'm healthy. Okay, I am not going to go there to take the partake of community kitty when I have a queen in my house.
What do you think, Robert and Rakim? Would you guys still feel like Radical says, what did that thought has a No, but do you guys still, like, if that was the situation, would you guys still feel like if a thought from the street comes, a Tatiana, that she's literally the hottest piece out there, would you guys still go out your way and do that? Or you guys would just come home?
I'm a sucker for a gorgeous Dominican woman or Puerto Rican woman. I mean, that's like my kryptonite. But at the same time, I'm basically married now. I've been domesticated for years, and the way I see it, because I have such a great woman at home, to me, that little 15 minutes of action that I can get from that woman is not going to be worth the years that I've put in with the woman that I have now and the years that we will have. It's just not worth ruining. Now, unfortunately, not a lot of men have that mentality. They tend to think with the little head. So obviously, if they can get that 15 minutes, they're going to go for that 15 minutes. But I think there are a lot of men out there who have the mentality that I have, that it's not worth it. Like, yeah, it'll be fun, but once it's over, it's over. Now you got to live with the fallout. So, but I think, what I'll say is, there's a lot of women I hear, well, I don't want to be a traditional Latina because, being traditional means I stay at home while the man gets out there cheating and going to the bar. But
What?
there's
Look,
millions of men out there. You mean to tell me that every single traditional Latina was being cheated on? I don't believe that, because I just feel like this. The ones that were in happy, loving relationships, marriages, and even the ones today that are in happy, loving, traditional marriages, you know why you don't know what's going on in their house? Because they're not on social media like that. They're out there living their lives. They're not on Facebook, Twitter, setting thirst traps, putting filtered photos. They're with their kids and with their husbands. They're happy. They're not on social media like that.
yep. Yeah, and look, that is just something that people don't understand. Like right now, I'm speaking to you guys, and my man is having a boys' night out. Like all his friends are out right now having fun. And it's something that, and that's another thing that should be another topic that I touch on later on, because there's a lot of I'm not gonna say who, but there's a lot of ladies that feel that they should also crowd boys' night out. Ladies, let your man have his space and come back to you. I think when Melanated Night has his nights with his boys and his friends and whatnot, he comes back home in a better mood. He wants to be home, and that's another thing that women today, I've seen modern women not understand. We want to have all those ladies night or those girls night out and blah 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 blah, but then when it comes to the men, oh, they're cheating, they're at the strip club, they're this, they're doing that, and those fucking friends, and let me just insert myself, I've seen some of his friends have to have their wives and fiancés with them at boys' night out. How awkward is that, ladies? That's a no. That's his space. What the fuck?
Denise, I'm sorry, but I have to chime in on that one.
Go ahead.
Okay. Now, with my local, we have developed a men's committee. Now, women are welcome to attend. However, there are times when we have to talk about issues that's pertinent to men. And sometimes we have to get into issues when it's extremely difficult for us to discuss. So you can just imagine how difficult it is for a man to talking about, say, depression or erectile dysfunction, and your lady is there. Could you imagine how demoralizing that is? And these morons do not understand that. Just as much as you want your ladies' night and you want your night to go kee hee ha ha and what have you, us men need our own space so we can talk about issues that are pertinent to men. Women, you are not men. You do not have a penis. You do not have testicles. You do not have testosterone. Let us have our space too.
Yeah, yeah. It's look at Radical. Radical is funny as hell. He's like, girl, he has a boys night out. It's pretty much over. Kiss him goodnight. No, but seriously, yeah, that's something. And not only that, like men, from what I've heard, I'm not gonna say who has said this, but from what I've heard, other friends in that circle frown upon that shit, and then they start avoiding inviting that specific dude because he's bringing his women to the circle. You know, so to be honest with you, that's another thing that we seem to not get and still try to control his space, his decoding mechanisms and stuff that men do. We're like, oh, you're not going out with the boys. I didn't get look in Puerto Rico. There has been men that have tried to make fun of this situation. I don't laugh at that because like I said, I think men should have their own space and they should be entitled to go out and come home at 2 a.m. if they want to, because they're grown ass men. But this whole notion that you have to ask your wife for permission, and if she says no, you have to say bye to your boys and not go out. That shit is not funny, girls. Like that shit is not funny. If he wants to go out, he's informing you he's gonna go out, and he tells you like an estimated time from when he's gonna go out. I'm not gonna wait. Once I'm done with this, I'm gonna go to sleep. I don't care when Melanated Night comes home. He's gonna come home, period, whenever he feels like. That's his space. And those are just things that now in this modern dating scene and marriage culture have been lost. And that's why a lot of men feel trapped. We even saw Ben Affleck right now speaking about how he felt trapped in his relationship. And I'm not going to assume in what aspect, but this is why men are feeling more and more suffocated in a relationship after years of being in it, because we don't let them breathe. You know?
Excuse me, Denise. I'll say this. Let's just give a hypothetical situation. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, only for this one occasion only. So, Melanie and I, don't get jealous. Let's say we were in a relationship, and I let you know I'm going to be coming home late because I have a committee meeting with my union. Okay. I would not look at you too kindly if you keep telling me I can't go, and I'm telling you, well, I'm going to be home at such and such time, and if you want, I'll call you to let you know I'm coming home. But if you try to deprive me of my committee meetings, we're going to have a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. Trust me. If I try to tell Melanated Night when he can or cannot go with his friends, that would be like trying to baptize a cat. He's going. Period. That's just how it is here. It's something that, and I've never been in the way of telling him when and where to go, because first, it's not my place because I did not birth him. And second, because I understand that that's something that he needs to have after all the work that he puts in every day. So I'm going to start wrapping this up, guys. It has been fun. I hope that, the femo tabs that usually feel the need to slide into my DMs or leave those comments calling me a homophobic or a misogynist or whatnot, whatever the hell they want to call me. you can do so. I don't care anymore. I'm not gonna fight you on that. Just know that we only have one person left that's here for us. That's a true feminist because it's giving us the option, but we have to understand the consequences that comes with that. And we better stop this whole stupidity before it's too late.
Hey, Denise.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to cut because I didn't get a chance to answer on that last
Oh
question
yeah,
that
go
you
ahead.
said. When it comes to if I was to have myself a wife at home, and she was taking care of all of the business and all of the things at home, I wouldn't find any reason. It's just me personally. I'm only one man. I can speak for myself. I can only speak for myself. I mean, I wouldn't find any need to do any of that because I'm not willing to jeopardize what I have going on at home just for like one night of fun with some chick out there that's probably immature, out there doing whatever. It's not worth it. And don't get me wrong, us as men, we see women, we see very attractive women, nice bodies. We just like, yeah, she right. I ain't even gonna front, she right. But at the same time, you have a lot of women the same as women. When women back in the day, if women would see a Tyson Bedford or these very attractive men, like, oh girl, the things I do to him, that's what she'll tell her girlfriend, right? But she got a husband at home. And like you got women that's talking about men cheating, but a lot of these women today, these more feminist modern women, they're out there doing just as much, if not worse, cheating. You got women going on girls trips, having one night stands with men out there that they may have met. And here's the thing: you'll have a friend that they on a girls trip with. They got a man back home, but jealous of her friend having a one night stand with somebody. You got women out here sneaking around, cheating, doing all types of grimy stuff. So a lot of the times too, that can be projection because women are very sneaky when it comes to cheating. And you can catch a woman in a lie when it comes to cheating and they'll keep denying it. And you'll have women that'll cry and all types of stuff to keep the lie going so they won't be exposed because it's very shameful to be exposed like that. So a lot of the times it's projection, and a lot of the times they'll, I think if you feel that your man is going to do this and that, then I don't know what to tell you. You pick the man that can't really control himself out there, and that's it. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you, Rakim. And yeah, definitely, definitely, we have women doing disgusting things out here. And then they want to come back and say, everything about the men when we have women that are cheating just as much, if not more than the men. It's just that they get away with it because they're under this mantle of innocence and affection and cariñito and whatnot, but that's not the case. I've seen it on both sides. Now I'm gonna start taking last statements from you guys, so I'm gonna start with Jose, final statements for today.
Well, thank you, daughter, for allowing me to be part of this stream. My message to the femotebs and the um, militant feminists: you are creating your own destruction with your own toxicity. Um, how many more women have to die alone before you women wake up and realize what you're doing is you're killing yourself just because you want to be the boss chick? That being said, I think this key is to educate the women when they were, while they're like in their preteens. I think that's the only realistic way that they can escape the stupidity that these women are trying to impose on others. I just want to let everybody know that this Tuesday, um, on my channel, we will be doing a recap of all the episodes of season one of Uncommon Sense. I will be live at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And of course, I'll be remiss in saying it is now 80 hours until the first day of winter. I'm looking forward to it. And I got to close the same way I always close. People, Please be careful out there because we are still dealing with C-19, which has killed over 800,000 people in this country so far. And we must do everything possible to limit our contact with the mentally and intellectually challenged, which includes, unfortunately, these militant feminists. Because if we fail to do so, we will be infected with their stupidity and massive insanity, and our brain cells will begin to die and turn to mush.
Thank you so much, Jose. That is absolutely right. I'm going to put you backstage. Don't go anywhere. Now, Robert, final statements on the last samurai that's out here yielding and kneecapping feminism.
I mean, I'll say this programming has always been here. You know, we had MTV, MTV Spring Break, MTV, Grind. So, which basically told kids, hey, sleep around. Hey, when you guys turn 20, sleep around. It's okay. We had Girls Gone Wild. So now we've just transferred from one media to now social media. And now social media is telling us that, look at this, you can live this lavish lifestyle too. And, you have people basically, they want to imitate what they see on social media, just like people back in the day want to imitate what they saw on MTV. So this has always been around. And the one thing I maintain is, guys, what you see on social media is not real. These girls that go to Dubai, these guys with these six packs, none of that stuff is real. A lot of these girls, they live in like little one-bedroom apartments. These guys that have six-pack abs and built up, those guys are probably on the roids. So we need to do a better job of teaching people not to believe everything they see on social media, because social media is the biggest lie. You're just seeing the best part of someone's life and not their life in totality. I'll put it there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We go from, this best moment to the next best moment. And a lot of people have been caught lying and portraying something that they're not living through. So I appreciate your insight, Robert. I'm going to put you backstage. Don't go anywhere. Thank you very much for tuning in. You have been missed. Now, my brother from another mother, Rakim, final thoughts on The Last Samurai. Is Kevin Samuels the last samurai that we have left?
I think Kevin Samuels is the last samurai, but I think it's going to be other men that's going to come up now that Kevin Samuels has solidified his position and to, going against the grain and being honest and telling a lot of these feminist modern women the truth. Just like Robert said earlier, within the stream, Kevin Samuels was talking. He was raining the hammer down on men, and nobody gave a damn. And it goes to show you that because society is used to men being bashed. Like women would just peek into the room, see Kevin Samuels telling the man how dusty he is and how he needs to get his shit together. And they'll be like, giving the thumbs up, like, oh, good job. Yeah, keep on him. It wasn't until that he had women in that room that, he was telling them that, well, you're average at best and you don't really have that many options, that a lot of women started kicking the door down and ready to, put gasoline all over the room and set it afire. So that's where we're at right now. I believe it'll be more men that's going to, come up and, have similar talking points as Kevin Samuels. We're even seeing women that are coming up into this space. And I think it's because a lot of women as well are fed up with the toxic selfishness of a lot of these modern feminist women. And they've already had these thoughts because some of these women that are speaking up came from backgrounds where they was raised by a man, their fathers that, gave them the blueprint on how a man is supposed to operate in a family structure. So a lot of these women are feeling offended. Some of them may have never spoken up because they felt that they didn't have the numbers. Maybe they felt like it wasn't enough women that thought like them. So now we're seeing more and more channels where a lot of women are speaking up and they're calling out these modern feminist women as well. But with the selfishness of these women, I don't know if we're at the point of no return because some of these women are so selfish, and we know that influence and power plays a big part. And I think a lot of these women rather see a lot of these young girls, be just as miserable as they are in their age than see them happy with the man or happy with the family. And I think that's where we're headed now. They're trying to influence as many minds as they possibly can to be able to keep, all of these, young girls on this train until the train, rails off the track and crashes. So
Absolutely. We're seeing it right now, even with this whole new wave of Sex and the City reboot. I don't know if you guys have watched it. I'm extremely disappointed on that show. The amount of propaganda that's in there, oh my God, it's so cringeworthy. I'm even, me and Melanated Night are debating if we will ever allow our kids to watch TV. So Rakim, thank you very much for your input. I'm gonna put you backstage. Don't go anywhere, guys. I have tried to bring this in the best way possible that I can. I cannot help the people that are gonna feel offended, the femoteps that love to come. I'm gonna say something to y'all. This is what we'll be playing with your responses. I'm going to get the smallest violin for your feelings, because your feelings are not important. They're important to you, but not to the rest of the world. And another thing that I always say to people, if you think, like this, ladies, if you think as a woman today that you're not running out of time, that you're not running out of avenues, resources, and people to help you in your situation, honey, I don't know what to tell you, but just freaking use it, puñeta. Okay? Like, it is what it is. You know, you and me both know very well that you are here like a social media warrior, a social media gangster, saying all the stuff that you want to say, and living it. I said what I said. You said what you said, but in reality, when your head hits the pillow, you know full well, just as much as I do and everybody else, that you want a man, that you want a family, that you want to be happy, and that you are none of those things today. And you have to remember, before you start talking about the men and why men that are bums are the only ones that approach you, you have to become a wife before men can actually approach you. With that being said, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this very late show. I know that a lot of people that are watching me from different spaces are like, what the hell? It's almost 3 a.m. What now? Well, it's 3 a.m. already. But I needed to talk about this. And you guys know I love working. So, of course, I worked till very late today. And I came to give you guys my perspective on this whole thing, or this whole scandal with Chris Noth, and all the things that I'm seeing happening with this gender war that is going on, and it doesn't seem to stop. Women are, taking it up a notch right now, to the point that everybody that's out here to help us is quitting, throwing in the towel, and telling us to just wander this world on your own. So I hope that it has been educational. I hope if you are a femotep or a woman that's looking to reform like I did, start acting like the manufacturer said you're supposed to act in order for you to not malfunction any longer, that this has been helpful to you. Ignore the rest of the women. When we're both 50, our group, the women that think like myself and the women that think like, this angry zombies, when we become 50, you're going to be laughing at them. We're going to laugh together. We'll host parties and laugh at them. Don't worry about them. So with that being said, ladies, find yourself a husband, keep thriving, stay productive, stay proactive. This has been another episode of Latin Explaining with Denise, all about business, finances, politics, and sometimes fun. Good night. See you guys tomorrow.